How's everybody doing? And we're live. So
and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much and he thinks the strangest things you ever heard. He told me coming home that he hoped the people started in church because he was a cripple.
and so anyhow we get the invites going here and
On Christmas Day,
bring people on in.
I believe he grows hearty, stronger every day.
It looks delicious. The whole wash house smells like a pastry cook shop.
I see a vacant seat in the porch in the corner.
Hey Richard, how you doing? And we're just live on camera too here. And let's see what this dashboard is. Hope I don't mess my stream up. Hope I do not mess my stream up on that one.
I don't believe I've ever seen a more magnificent goose cook.
But I'll pray that one Christmas, perhaps, you might taste the turkey.
That's one way, my dear. That's one way. A toast to Mr. Scrooge, founder of that place.
Okay. Well, we know what dashboard is, guys. So
Christmas Day, I'm sure how can one drink enough? Such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man is Mr. Scrooge. Just even the good properly. Nobody knows.
So just catching up on camera too here. Oh, there's a lot.
I'll treat yourself to yourself in the days like this.
There's a
Oh, Merry
lot.
Christmas and happy.
Oh. Shoot.
Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us. Everyone, you know. Merry Christmas.
Main Spirit, so tiny to be spared. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Die! No! No!
What then? If he is to die, he had better do it. And decrease the surplus population.
Yes. Yes.
A rather disagreeable animal.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wait, is it an animal that grunts and growls?
Yes.
And lives in London?
Of course.
Hit the ones right. Okay, got that one.
Yes and no.
Oh, I know who it is, honey.
So just doing some catch up here.
Uncle Scrooge.
Christmas a humbug. He actually said that.
As I live. And he believes it.
Okay, so we're just doing some catch up here, and
I know. I'm sorry.
Who suffers from his health then? Tell me himself. Here, he decides to dislike it. Look for him dying of this.
and that. So I got a cat here sleeping on my computer, but pretty soon the angels are gonna get plugged up as well. And just going to see which lights are kind of working behind here. So we got those ones there. Yeah, we got that section. That's your Christmas section too. And just got to fix a few things too. And so again, just sitting back and relaxing. And the first Sunday of December is going to be Lake Huron, Georgian Bay, South Bruce Peninsula, Washington Santa Claus Parade, and that is a night parade, 7 o'clock. And I'll probably get clips of that, like I did. Also, like I did for Remembrance Day, and that as well. And so that'll be quite good. Just see what happened to camera 2 here, guys. Camera 2 went out. And oh, there we go. We had a pop up. And then we mentioned that the fireplace are working here as well. And probably need a couple more lights to string up so it get more brighter in here. And that'll be looking quite good on that one. And this Saturday, guys, is the Owen Sound Santa Claus Parade, which is the day parade, which is the Kiwanis Owen Sound Santa Claus Parade, which starting up the Festival of Lights Christmas thing in Owen Sound at Harrison Park down there. So that'd be quite good. So and then that night they go into the big Festival Lights Festival. So with different bands and they have the Christmas. Also have like a bit of a Christmas tree lighting, and they light up all of the Christmas decorations up, and then they display them, and then everything's got all Christmas lights on it and that. And so anyhow, just sit back and relaxing. And so again, we'll probably have a couple, also to have some gaming nights going on too as well. And we're gonna get Christmas up and a going. So we've started now into our Christmas shows live, and so bit by bit, some more decorations yet to come to be put up. Another string of probably purple lights or colorful lights. It's gonna go up and around, and so that way it's gonna make it a little brighter in here. One stream for some reason is not working. I don't know why, but it ain't working. Not. Oh, my day is going pretty good, Richard. How's yours? And so, if there's any invites, on camera, Robert King, how you doing? And And also too, we got it's snowing like crazy here, guys. And I'll show you that too as well. If you look at the window there, guys, you can tell it is snowing. I'll get you the close. Just to put the oh, it's bad. There's the Pacific Inn across the Bar and Hotel. Folks, you can see lots more of it right here. And Santa Claus Parade is probably it's gonna be a beautiful Christmas parade. So Christmas lights. So it'll actually be Christmas. And if you guys hang on, I will go leave you guys alive for a second. And let's see if I can get this thing open and plugged in. Okay, so guys, we got the angels plugged in there. We used to have eternal candles here. I don't know how well they're working. Uh, and I got another one kicking around here too, guys. I have to change the battery, soon. But yeah, we get the little green and sparkly ones there, guys. And then we're just gonna add in some new lights because they look like looks like I'm replacing a couple streamers. New lights. Again, there's the fireplace, guys. There's the so we're gonna get a bright Christmas scene here, definitely. And so again, guys, there it is. It's all working. You guys can see behind me here, guys. One corner looks like it's going to. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go back up and pull down that one corner until I get 2 new strings. So that'll be quite good. And a couple new eternal candles in that, so that's going to. So again, we just wanted to show you that. And Bonnie Morrison, how you doing? And see how many people are here for the first time. And that. And the other game that I was playing on November the 10th, Call of Duty games. One was PS2 Call of Duty 3 for the PS2. The other ones were for the PS3 system. So it was one was Call of Duty Finest Hour, and the other one was like a zombie type shooting one. But it was for the zombie one was for PS3. I don't have a PS4 yet. I don't think I've ever brought into a PS4, but so again, we're just getting everything kind of all dolled up here, getting things all ready for Christmas, and seeing what the lighting is going to look like, and so 2 of my candles survived this actual summer. I have to get some new ones too, eventually. And I'm still gonna figure out more about that dashboard, because I'm not sure much really how that works. And I guess the way it looks like on Facebook, there is going to be a Ghostbusters 3, and anybody can be following that. I guess this time it's going to be the 3 Ghostbusters, the original ones. I guess Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. So it's going to come back for the 3rd one. And so those 3 guys, original guys, will be the Ghostbusters for a 3rd time around. So they're gonna bring back the 3 original guys for one more movie. So that'd be quite cool. So I'm looking forward to see that when that comes out. And let my little boy come over here and sleep, because he's sleeping on my computer stuff, ain't you, buddy? Yeah. And you're getting heavy. Hey, you're getting heavy, buddy. You gonna say hi to everybody? Say hi. Hey, say hello. No biting. No, we talked about this biting pop-up bit, okay? And so anyhow, we're just wanting to getting everything kind of a look-see here on how it's going to be set up. The only thing I do not have yet is an actual trying to squeeze in here is an actual going to be fun. And it's actually going to be we're going to have quite of a bit of a heyday. Well, yeah, if I clean out that one corner by the filing cabinet, I can get a Christmas tree over there. So again, if I can find a Christmas tree in time, a cheap one, we will put one up with lights, and you can stay off it. And we got, and also too, guys, we got also to get some of the Christmas, get the Christmas programming going. That you can see in the background, and so yeah, we just got kind of let's sit back and waiting on the festivities to come. To start, Owen Sound Santa Claus Parade in the city of Owen Sound, which is not far from me. It's just coming up this Saturday, I guess, and I'm not sure what time, but hours will be told for Sunday, I don't think. Something like that, night thingy, and that. And I just sit back, enjoying the Christmas lights, and so I am also going to add to my decorations as well. Probably going to over time put in a nice Christmas tree in here. If not, then I'll probably see if I can find a little plant and decorate it. Last year I had, you notice I kind of had pink flowers for a Christmas tree. I think this year this is probably going to be my Christmas tree, and that kind of thing. So we kind of decorate that out. Oh, I probably can too. Yeah, kind of doll it up a bit with a little, with kind of a little, probably a little cloth around the little container under, and that kind of stuff. So that will do wonders as a Christmas tree. I use the weirdest plants for a Christmas tree every year. That kind of stuff. As long as it's green, as long as it's not green, I am safe. But like the tall ones, they usually do come green and that kind of stuff. But I think I'm probably, if I do buy one, I'm probably going to buy just one of those small size table sizes and that kind of stuff as well. And of course, I got the Merry Christmas hat on. I think the hallway looks like I'm going to decorate it up as well. I think I'm going to get a little bit more brighter in the kind of doorway hallway, but those lights that don't seem to want to come on. The other side, the other two set of orange ones. I don't think. I think those ones are going to come down, and I think I want to buy some colored ones and replace those ones. So yeah, get nice colored ones up there. So I'll get those garbage, those old orange ones that ain't working. So I only got one string of orange working behind me. You can see that, and I don't want to see that one. And again, we got some of the colored ones there. But then, like those corners there by the windows, those corner ones are not working. And the snow's coming down crazy. And too, I got my headset as well, and so I see also too my headset lights up as well. So that is really cool. It is. You probably see me Halloween with them on too. I got them partially lit up on my portable battery, modem battery, and that kind of thing. And so outside, the weather wasn't too good, or they would have fully lit up on my battery pack. But to so oh. Where'd they go? There goes my bing. My bing.
I will have a Christmas in my heart. Don't you keep it from me. I will not shut out the lessons of the past, no present, no future. Christmas, tell me, I will sponge away the writing on that stone.
Oh, that was weird. There we go. Must have missed the hole by 2 inches. Sometimes that happens. I gotta bring it back on my other screen and see if I can still pick you up here, guys. Oh, yes, I can. Sorry about that, guys. I missed by 2 inches here. And okay, there we go. We just had to readjust. Again, I had to plug my headset in. And good. I got room to put my controller over here. The cat's sleeping now. And my glass case. Ooh, that's miracle. Cat's always plopping his lazy butt all over my desk. And so I've got hardly no space to put anything. And
What's today? What's today, my brother?
so and then also too, guys, probably gonna sit back too. I also probably gonna sit back and probably relax and enjoy a bit of Home Alone. I do have the whole collection of Home Alone. My wife has a copy. My wife has. I've overbought so many copies of it. I got the original Home Alone on Blu-ray, and I got the whole collection on a DVD set. And now she has 1 and 2 on DVD. So, because the one came with the DVD in it, Blu-ray and DVD. And probably also going to sit back. This is the one I'm watching right now, guys. And then I'm going to watch Home Alone. Then I'm probably going to sit back, watch Home Alone. Then I'll probably sit back, watch Polar Express. You never get too old for the cartoons. And probably Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and that kind of stuff. And I also have a bunch of other Christmas classics as well. But they're on DVD, not too many on Blu-ray. And so again, I get his name right. Sometimes sometimes when I follow his live streams, his name right here, Scott Paulson. That's it. Again, he's so funny because again he does the classic for Halloween time. He does the classic slashers of horror, and if I pronounce that right, it's got a bit of a British accent. So again, I always tease him. So I said around Christmas time, I sit back and watch Christmas shows, and we kind of twist that around for Christmas and sit there and we call it the Christmas slashers of horror. So it's gotta have that spooky what you call, even though it's got Christmassy to it, spooky accent to it. I don't know if they're actually with the accent when they did the classic slashers of horror. How they pronounce it is that's how it's originally pronounced. I'm not sure whereabouts he is actually located out of. I think it more sounds like he's more located out of the UK, England. London, England, more so than anything, just because of the accent. Possibility, or he could be located in Germany or wherever, somewhere else around in the world. It sounds like UK, England, or Australian, or Austrian German. Um, it is it's one of it's going to be one of those European countries. It's either going to be like Scotland. It's either going to be Scotland, Ireland, England, or it's going to be Germany. One of the two, because it carries between. It doesn't really carry much. You don't really hear too much Irish in it. Um, Especially when you hear the word "hua," it could sound like the way he pronounces it. It seems like it's kind of got like a German accent to itself, or it's like it got like a UK English accent to it, or even Austrian, or possibility it is Russian. So I don't know wherever else he's located. So that he does his live streams to do with horror movies. But he is quite comical. Just wait when he gets that accent on the go there, and he does actual showcasing when it comes to the horror movies, or should I say the horror movies? Because he's got that. He always carries that accent. So every time it gets neat because I watch sometimes I follow his night what you call night live streams, and he always says, "Welcome to the classic slashers of horror." Always carries like a deep, spooky voice in it. So I don't know what he's doing yet, if he's got anything for Christmas yet or not. He was showcasing a couple of good war movies there a while back. It was really cool. He had a couple of good ones fired up, and that. But I think he's like a horror fan channel. He's probably going to have like Santa Comes Twice, which is a horror movie. If anybody doesn't know nobody ever knows what Santa Comes Twice is. It is an old classic horror movie, which Santa comes twice. The first time he comes down, he leaves all the toys. He comes down the chimney. He leaves the toys for the kids. Then he comes back. He makes a second trip in the same night. And he's a serial killer the second time he comes through. So again, and he's one of those turns into one of those demon guys, or those demon, mass serial killers. And he starts targeting after all the parents. But according to the movie, he never ever goes after the kids. But only the kids can see him. The parents don't see him until it's too late. And then there's that other old one. Anybody that's ever into there's Black Christmas. That was another interesting one. Anybody remembers that one? There was also Santa's sleigh, like aliens coming in from outer space over Christmas time, that kind of thing. And this one alien is invading Earth, but around Christmas time, and this one alien appears as does appear as an image of Santa Claus. So again, it is a restricted horror movie. So like the way Scott would put it, Paulson would put it. But other than that, it is another one of those another big Christmas horror classics. So if you like horror movies or horror movies at Christmas time, there is one to do with Christmas themes. I think A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens was almost halfway there with the Ghost of Christmas Future. That was always that's how they kind of figured out how to put a Christmas and Halloween theme together. Back those early days, those lovely old classics. I always loved them. So again, there is those are just kind of some of the updates. Other than that, this is just every year we have our what you call lighting test run here, and still a little too dark. So because it's still a little too dark in here, I'm going to actually over time before Christmas buy and put up another string of lights or replace the old orange lights over there, because I thought they'd be working again this year, but they're not working this year. So again, I gotta kind of go by and replace those ones that are not working, and looking like I need 2 strings of them, and they're gonna go up. And so again, I think that's going to be that one same session. So make it a little bit brighter. And it's funny because I get teased about that all the time because of my height and my name being Tim. So like I said, that is so funny. But that is okay. I don't mind it. Again, it is that. But that is one thing you never ever hear me say. Ever. No, just kidding. Christmas time is not bad, but in some cultures that could actually be could have a bit of a new language. It could mean something different compared to here in our Canadian or American culture or English culture. But in the rest of the parts of the world, that could be offensive. Just like the word, we didn't know, but there is an online group. It is called the MFers Live. But you got to really watch with that word, because any word can actually mean something translated different in somebody else's culture. Because I know my cousin Tony, he is Spanish, and a nationality Italian to his father's side, and I told him I was following. I told him I was talking to him online. I was telling him I was following him after his live, and he said, "Do you mind watching your language?" And I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's a group." And he says, "Well," he said, in the Mexican or the Spanish or in the Italian, Greek language, MF refers to motherfucker." Sorry to put it that way, but that's exactly what the translation is. From that word. So that word in the Spanish language means totally something profanity in their language. You can always offend them. So you do not ever want to go up to a Spanish person and say, "Hey, I'm you're probably gonna get yourself slapped around a couple of times in that one. Especially kids that their parents would probably disappoint them for saying that. So like I said, anywhere like here in Canada doesn't mean that, but in Italy, over in Italy, in the Italian culture, the Spanish culture, in Mexico, that is a bad word. It replaces our English profanity, but in their culture, it is in their dictionary, and it is labeled as being a swear profanity word. Nobody take offense to that little bit of an education moment, but that's what that actually means, and I did not even know that. Until my cousin was telling me, he said he looked it up too as well, and with him being Spanish culture, he speaks Spanish, so He has all his life. But he's bilingual. He speaks English, and that. But I was shocked that that word can mean anything in another culture. It can mean a very bad profanity word in their culture. In the Spanish culture. Here with amongst us Canadians and Americans, it does mean that. But in Mexico, apparently, it's not a good word to be using. It is. It's not. It's more profanity to them. It is more of a foul language term. Uh, that the replaces our English vowels, like replaces our English vocabulary, but over there in this Mexican Spanish language, it means totally something profanity. A lot of people don't know that, but you probably, especially, you don't want to go into a Spanish church over there and start using that word. Then they kick you out. As they be slapping they be slapping your face around the congregation and that kind of stuff over there in their church hallways where they actually sit and they preach and that kind of stuff too. Right? They go wild over that. But yeah, so like I said, that is some crazy stuff. And that. And but yeah, so again, I'm just getting all set up here and that kind of stuff as well. And we'll probably get a little bit of probably tomorrow. We'll probably get into some Christmas gaming, and that kind of thing. I'm still trying to figure. I guess I just figured out this dashboard, but I got to figure out more how to set it up. Again, it's gone through. It says we'll try out dashboard, so I clicked on the dashboard. So again, you get your little window in there. So again, that is going to be quite good for gaming and that kind of stuff as well. And that, oh, hey John, how you doing? You missed the lecture. What the word MFR means in Mexico. I know my cousin Tony had to educate me on that one. Because I told him I joined this online group for his following, watching, and he enjoyed it. And I tried to get him to join in on it. And he said he'd check it out sometime, and that kind of thing. But he said in the Spanish culture, he actually said it was a very bad word. Not here in Canada, in our Canadian culture, American culture, but in the Mexican culture, the Spanish culture, it is not a word you want to be going around using or calling yourself or calling somebody else. Because technically you're swearing at them. I did not know that until you told me that one. But he lives down in Mount Royal, Quebec, but he's funny. So, and that what big time educated brain neurologist and that kind of stuff. That's what kind of line of work he's in, medical. Occasionally, he still does camera technology for Warner Brothers Studio for the Quebec office, but that is about it. when he's needed. Other than that, but most of the rest of the time he's out doing brain surgery or whatever. He's licensed. He's licensed MD and that. He went to college. He's the only idiot in my family that went to college and university, and made something of himself. I work 1 day a week in a dentist office now, just cleaning. Just scrubbing the floors, just kind of helping out down in the lab and that kind of stuff as well. Just scrubbing the floors, taking the garbage out, whatever needs to be done, filling up toothpaste and toothbrush bags, that kind of stuff. Not bad. At least it's something. It's only for 1 day a week, 2 hours. So I go to work for 8 in the morning on a Wednesday, and then I'm home about 9:45, and then the rest of the week off. So again, it's an easy life, and yeah, I get paid for that, but I don't make that much there. It's only 2 hours, like 1 day a week, not even part time, only for 2 hours shift. But yeah, so again, just working on getting the Christmas lights all set up here. Again, I'm just going to be changing around the old orange lights. I guess they went out. So when I buy the new, what everybody calls them is purple shiner, purple shiners, shiners. What do you want to call them? I've never ever seen a purple shiner in my life. My grandfather kicked my butt for saying something like that because he was a Shriner all his life and a World War II veteran. War veteran. So he's not around today. He's passed on, but he was a little guy. But again, he'd definitely kick my butt if he's still around today, calling him that a purple Shriner. No such thing. But yeah, so that was a bit of a sense of humor though on that one. So again, I got the fireplace up and going. Again, I'm now living out here in Wyerton, Ontario. It is snowing like crazy. Like I said we're going to be buried in this stuff probably by tomorrow morning, or a front part of the building door is going to be piled in. I'm lucky because I don't have to go in. I live in an apartment building, so technically I don't have to go out and shovel. There's building contractors that do all that. There's actually a company from Allenford that is paid a contract that's close to us that comes in and does all the shoveling. They have a snow plow. They have a snow blower, snow plows that does miniature snow blowers for the sidewalks, and then they have the trucks that does the back parking lot by the garbage shed, and that kind of stuff. And then here comes the street dude with the township, the township of South Bruce Peninsula truck that does all the main roads and that kind of thing. It is not like Wyerton's not like the big cities down where I grew up in Peterborough, where I came from. There is they're not it's not a shift change. It's one guy that is up all hours of the night that actually does all this nonstop. I don't think he even goes home to bed. He's out all night long because I can hear him constantly when the snow keeps coming down. He is out. He is out 24/7. So I don't think he gets any sleep at all. Not a job I would ever if I had my license for that. I don't think it was a job I'd ever want. Now there was one guy again. When I first moved here, it's always been just one guy that does it. He's out all the time. He's probably getting one good hell of a pay for doing it, for doing all that shoveling. But there was a guy that actually that was here when I first moved here. That was the first guy that was doing it, and I guess he died of a heart attack because he was out. they don't operate like a city here. So again, it's one guy that does everything all night long with the snow. But it's very, with the big trucks, it's very stressful. But again, there's no shift change and that kind of thing like you have the big cities where they have the city that does everything. Or unionized city workers. Well, there's only one guy that does everything here, with the snow plowing of the roads and that. He was out Remembrance Day shoveling. So again, we got a lot of snow Remembrance Day on Sunday. We had our Remembrance Day service was a good turnout here too, especially with all the snow. Again, we here we I guess they haven't done this for a long time. Apparently, I've been hearing since the early 1940s. The last time they were saying that Wyerton and the South Bruce Peninsula alone rang their church bell back in 42, 43, just the ending of the Vietnam War. Around that time, I think that was when that was in between there, or whenever. Also, too, before that, all the way up before that time, from World War One to World War Two. So ever since then, the area has never ever rang their church bells on Remembrance Day, just for Christmas. So again, Sunday, November 11th this year, they for the first time in a long time, because it was Remembrance Day anniversary. A lot of areas were ringing their church bells too. But a lot of the bigger cities, they do it all the time. But this area here is, this was the first time in a long time they have ever, since the war days, that they've ever rang the church bells here. So again, it is the Anglican, it is the big Castle Presbyterian or sometimes Anglican church at the top of the hill on Gould Street that does the church bells. And that kind of stuff. So again, of course, they ring them every Sunday too. So that what people like, the townspeople, it is church time. Get up out of bed. That kind of stuff too. We don't have, Wyerton doesn't have many, what you call many variety of churches like the big cities would have. Like the big cities are very overpopulated with churches. I think we only have about not even maybe about 3 or 4 in the area, alone in the town of Wyerton. I know we have one on Elm Street, a weird place for a church, which is next to the cemetery. So that is more of like a fellowship church. It's like a Faith Tabernacle type church. A little small building. It is not a big building. I never heard they even ever see that place open. Tell you the truth on that one. The only time I've ever seen that church ever open is whenever. Only time I've ever seen this one here open, this Faith Tabernacle open, is whenever there is a funeral. Other than that, I don't think it's ever been open. I think everybody just goes to the Salvation Army on Edward Street. All pile in the Salvation Army that lives up at that end, because they're more older people on the lives up that end. Not too many young families live up that end, so technically they're more laid back type people. They're not really fellowship Pentecostals type people. There's a few. I don't know. Maybe there's some Sundays. There's the odd Sundays with Faith Tabernacle is open and they have a good congregation. Sometimes they just don't bother opening because they go jump in with the Salvation Army majority of Sundays. Because some of the stuff that the Salvation Army is starting to get into now is a lot of the Hosanna music and that kind of stuff as well. This other one, Little Faith Tabernacle, here it is. There's very few times it's even open. Sable Beach, the one in Sable Beach, it's open all the time. It is open mainly every Sunday. It's a full 2 services a day. Um, and then the midweek services. It's always they've always got the bulletins and times and that. Then we got a little Mormon church, which used to be the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints, which a couple of years ago, way before I moved out here, it became the Community Church of Christ, which just became more of a Mormon Reformed. So again, that is by subway, and then there's a little United Church downtown. There's United Church downtown. And then there's one on the street that I used to live on Frank and Brown. It's a little Lutheran. And then there's a Catholic church up on way past Gold Street up there. And then out on Highway 6, there is a little Full Gospel Pentecostal church. And guess who gets to be next door to the Pentecostal church? The Jehovah Witness. Their church is right smack on the same property as the Pentecostal church. So you pull into the park. It is a shared parking lot. So technically, it is. They technically don't have much of their own parking lot. So when they drive into their churches, they've got a 2-way circular drive that joins into the Pentecostal church, and the Jehovah Witnesses have to pull in to the same parking lot as the Pentecostal church. Park their cars, but they're not a It's okay because they're usually, I guess, here they're not a Sunday crew. There's more of a Saturday crew than anything. But even if like the Pentecostals got something going on a Saturday, they're stuck sharing the parking lot. So they don't have their own parking lot. So again, those are kind of, and then there's the Anglican Church up the hill, which is on the other side of George and Gold, which is up past a little bit past Burford, but then nothing past there. So again, like I said, there's not too many here, and then there's a little Baptist church on Frank Street, a little Red Baptist church. It is called Frank Street Baptist Church. Really nice one. A little tiny thing. Congregation of not that many people. Again, all seniors. They don't have much of a Sunday school program. They only have like maybe 1 or 2 kids that go to it. But most of the time they flush kids from the Salvation Army to the Baptist Church for VBS, in that program for the summer day camp. Other than that, the rest of the time they get no kids because all the kids go to Salvation Army. Salvation Army is really the only main big church here that has a youth group. For teenagers, these other churches don't have a youth group because they all pile in the Salvation Army. Up on Edward Street, because they've got the drop-in center and that kind of stuff too. Sometimes in the summer, no, we haven't seen it this year. Sometimes in the summer they have what you call an inimical service, where all the churches in town, every single church in town, meets at the park, and they have one big Sunday service and barbecue, and that kind of thing. And the gospel worship music is played by Dave Nixon and Midnight Blue band, and that, which he's out of the Reformed Church down by Subway here. That he's the main head macho guy of. And so again, like I said, there is it is like it is like cowboy country out here. If they're not cowboys or hillbillies, there's Indians out here. It is a nice area, but we are more overpopulated with our First Nation culture here than anything. Way too overpopulated. So again, it is. And other than that, if you were wondering what we have for churches now, far as it is also too, it is Wyerton and Owen Sound, more so Owen Sound than Wyerton used to have an Amish community. Wyerton, all the Amish people from the Wyerton area here, South Bruce Peninsula, have moved off the South Bruce Peninsula. Again, they built newer Amish farms because they've started a new Amish order for young people that are up in the modern day age technology like we're into today. But then there's the old order still that still doesn't believe in hydro and stuff like that, cars, and still the old horse and buggy, which is the old traditional Mennonite Amish community. So again, like they've moved further back towards Owen Sound area. Owen Sound is big for the Amish communities and church community, and out near Katy. So out near where they have the big flea market on Tuesdays in the summertime. So again, like I said, Wyerton doesn't have many families in Wyerton anymore. There's the odd few that may live still on the outskirts of Wyerton here. In Georgian Bluffs, now on Elm Street, just off of Burford on Elm. There's an old farmhouse on. Mainly, it's a Burford address, but it sits on Elm Street. Other than that, there's just a cemetery and a church. Again, that is an old Amish farm. That White House there is an old Amish farm there, farmhouse and farm. It's a big house. I tell you, it's been renovated so many times in that, but I don't think there's even an Amish family that lives there anymore. I think it is just it's been sold and maintained over the years, and there's newer families, new people living there. Then further out, going towards Owen Sound, there's an actual Mormon farm. So again, it is one big Mormon community that lives on that farm and that kind of stuff. Families. That's about it. But they have their own farmland. So again, they got their barns. They got their they actually have their farmland. They have their farm. They got the barn. They got their church, all on the same on that farmland. So again, there's the one down here by Subway is a Mormon Reformed, and then the actual Mormons have got the got this. They have their own farm now and that kind of thing. I think they always have. I think they've been there for years. I don't know how long. My boss was saying how long they were there for, but she said the whole time she's ever came to lived in Wyerton to practice dental. She said that they've been there for years. It is a really nice farm, again, and that kind of stuff too. But yeah, so that's a little bit of Wyerton for you history. So I mean that's country life out here, but not bad. It is quite comfortable. Other than that, we of course too we have our town drunks. What else is not new? I think every town has them. I'll tell you, the ones here are bad. They're a very bad bunch. Nice people, but can get bad when they're out of it. It is so comical. But yeah, so again, and just getting ready for getting all set up here. Again, I'm gonna string those new lights, and I guess winter's decided it's gonna come early. I don't have to worry. Again, I used to shovel snow for all the storefronts and that kind of thing. I don't anymore. It is getting too politicianal and legalistic because there's certain ways that they've earlier their times now when they won't need it done by, and it's too confusing because you're out all the time and that kind of thing as well, and you don't even get any home time or family time because you're out all the time. Every time it snows and you never get home. So I taken a break from that. Since now we're not living in a house, we don't have a garage to, so I can normally pile stuff into. We don't. We don't have the house. And we used to rent the house on Frank Street for a while, shared house with my mother-in-law for a bit. It was not bad, but it was getting too expensive, and it had a nice garage and everything. But it was very heavy, costly. It was a 6-bedroom house and with a 2.5 jacuzzi tub in it, and swimming pool out the back. The fence kept falling down. One of those places. Green mold in the basement. It used to be an old bed and breakfast for years. Again, and so again, like I said, so we've kind of gotten away from the renting the house thing, and then my wife and I came into renting an apartment, which was cheaper. And that, so all we have to, again, on top of rent, all we pay for is just hydro and phone and internet and cable if we want it. And that kind of thing. We're too high up to get satellite, apparently, so they say. So again, we cannot. We're snoozing and losing on satellite because they said the only way they could put satellite in here is if we're willing to rent what you call a service bucket truck for them to hoist it up so they can install the dish. Other than that, we can't. We didn't bother getting satellite because we checked into it. It is going to be too expensive because we can't afford the $900 for a bucket truck just for them to install a stupid satellite dish. It's too expensive. So, and technically, other than that, they will not do it by straight ladder because it's too much of a safety issue on the cable installation technicians. And plus, because the fact that we're smacked right downtown Wyerton, we live on William, but we overhang Burford on the main parade route. That's how I can get the Remembrance Day Parade and St. Claus Parade. So because we're on the 3rd floor, but we're back apart. We're in one of those crazy back apartments where we got the overhang over the front. So again, it is. So again, we're too far back because the building we're in used to be a bank. So at one time, historically, it used to be many things, but the last thing it was a bank, and so technically all apartments that we're living in have been converted into apartments. Used to be old bank vaults. So technically, we're living in a bank vault. So I mean, so again, it is one of those old things that you'd be surprised what they can convert old buildings into. It used to be the old Union International Bank before, I guess before the Royal Bank came in here years ago. And then some people said it used to be a hospital. Some people said it used way before it became apartment buildings. There was many things. It used to be a funeral parlor. It used to be many things, a doctor's office, and that kind of stuff. Now, our entrance exit is usually on the side door. There is another main entrance exit, but we can't use it because it goes through somebody's apartment on the front off of Burford Street. So technically, the front path is an actual 2-bedroom apartment, and it is a rented out apartment, and they have a door inside because before we got this place, that was the first apartment we looked at when it was empty. So we had a choice between that one at the front and this one. We ended up taking this one for some reason. And my wife wanted to be higher up for some reason. She said, "Oh, we don't mind the stairs." Big mouth. We almost had a chance for the main level, but she wanted to be on the 3rd floor. where you can't get satellite. um, so again, like I said, so again, the front apartment was not bad either. It's rented out now, but when we were here, when we first moved, before we moved in here, we were looking at them. We were showing that one as well. It has the door that comes out into the hallway down the bottom level into this building, and but again, the Williamside Street that we have that our exit we have to use the entrance we have to use is William Street, so it's a side door which is across hairstyles, and so that is the door we use is the one on the side. So technically, there's a couple little tiny fire exits for the fire escape. It is too old-fashioned of a building. There's no elevator. And that the building is all stairs. It is not. I'm kind of surprised for a small town because there's no elevator. So when we bring our groceries in, we gotta hike it all the way up the stairs. I think since we lived here, I've fallen on the stairs like twice, just carrying groceries up, because they're steep, 3 flights up. I'm so glad she didn't take the apartment up on the 4th floor above us, and then we'd definitely be in trouble. The 4th floor is a joke, by the way. We do really have a 4th floor. People live up there. But it is a joke because Wyerton joke because all the crazies that go into the hospital here go to the 4th floor of the Wyerton Hospital. So all the psychiatrical crazy people with psychiatrical problems go to the hospital on the 4th floor. So again, the floor above us is a 4th floor. So the joke is we put all the crazy people on the 4th floor. All the Looney Tunes. That's why I said I'm glad she didn't take an apartment on the 4th floor above us, because that would be another hike up the stairs. More of a steep because that goes all the way up to the roof line, and probably a lot more colder too, because that is more close to the attic level. But up there, there's only one apartment up there, and she has a balcony. All the rest don't have balconies, but it's way higher up. And that so again, like I said, so other than that, we're kind of doing well and keeping busy. Again, because Christmas time is coming, Tim Hortons here is normally open 24 hours a day. Christmas Eve, they're closing their doors probably early again. So they're going to do a big what you call a Christmas Eve close down for Christmas Eve at a certain time. So again, they're only going to stay open for half the day or something like that, or partially into the partial supper hour, and then they're going to close up. Foodland is no longer 24 hours. It closes by 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock all the time. But definitely earlier Christmas Eve, like you did last year. And the Baptist Church, I think, has got a Christmas Eve service going. And that kind of thing, just a little one. We have a Tuesday morning coffee club, men's coffee club. Always loved that coffee club. Sometimes I meet up with the old guys and we have coffee. Again, nice coffee club. But the guys get talking about, because it's a men's coffee club, they get talking about weirdest different topics. So, and then it's followed by a Bible study after. I went to a couple of them. I think they're so not bad, but I think they're a little off topic, because it's the last Bible study that I was at, session I was at. I had to make me laugh because it it seemed like it had more to do with birds than anything. Um, Again, it was only it was one of those weird topic from going from weird topics from Tim Hortons to weird Bible study topics like on birds. Um, it was which it made me laugh. Um, Salvation Army has a men's group, but I remember I sat in on that one a couple times too before, and they were not bad because they were into doing the car models and that like that. I like that better than listening to somebody talk on birds. And there was no message to it. So I mean, it was just one of those those weird topics, and plus too, also some of the weird topics guys get into at Tim Hortons. I tell you, talk about a church getting involved in politics. Like they say, religion and politics go together just like paper and glue. Fails, and it's not our Canadian politics. I wouldn't mind it if it was our Canadian politics that they went on about. No, it's American politics they go on about. For a church. So again, like I said, so again, no matter what, I hear more what goes on, and it's funny because I see what goes on Facebook and the media already today. I don't know what to say about it, but I just avoid it because I'm not really into politics. But you kind of let them have their say. Let them speak their mind, or let them do their CNN show or whatever their fake news. So again, I just because I respect them because the world they're classified as world leaders. So again. But again, I hear after seeing it all on Facebook, then I hear it at Coffee Club, and especially when you live in a small town, it is word travels too quickly. So it's whatever they see on TV. It is they add their opinions to it and that kind of stuff. These guys do, but you have to kind of give them a grin and doubt though that these guys are up in their age too, right? So they got nothing left better to do but to talk politics. I think my dad would be the same way if he was sitting in that coffee club. He'd probably be the worst politician on mouth going in that Baptist coffee club. He'd be jumping right on into the conversation. I definitely have to say he would be. He'd probably make the stretch the conversation longer. We never talk. Oh no, we're not allowed to. It's funny because I tried to change the subject one time. Didn't work. Especially if you got guys that are like in their 70s or 80s. When you get their mind on one thing, they get their mind on one thing. Of course, stupid me. I said, we're at coffee club, and a moment, and this guy's supposed to be one of our ministers. This guy's supposed to be a Baptist minister. Okay, and the first thing he jumps in there with starts off with the conversation in coffee club. He'll ask people again. And this is not a mockery, by the way. I know I grew up in a church background. He'll start giving the what you quote John 3:16, and asking anybody new that comes to coffee club. That conversation only lasts for like 1 second, and then he's off talking about Donald Trump. I like when did Donald Trump become the godhead of the church? that kind of thing. It is like the jump from one thing to another thing. That is just so. I always find that is just so funny. Um, but but no, I the guy that runs the coffee club. It is great. It is comical at times. Um, Knowing that Tim Hortons has a policy with customers that you're not allowed to talk religion or politics in the dining hall. This crowd, they don't care. They mix them in, so they kind of do what you call a throw-off conversation. So they kind of cover up the other conversation with the political conversation. So, like I said, it is, but it's quite understandable because a really nice guy. He's again, I think he was telling me. He said he's got family in Peterborough as well. But like I said, I was shocked to hear that when I heard about my mom passing away in 2017. That was a big shocker to me. A lot of people probably would not know her by her maiden name, but a lot of anybody remember her. Probably John probably remember meeting her a couple of times when I was in youth group at some of the around the Selwyn Outreach Center Church. Anyways, there's a couple of times I had brought her out. A friend of mine brought her out, and that kind of thing. You probably would have known her by her marriage last name because she used to be married to my dad for years, and then she's been divorced for so many years. So she just went back to using her maiden name, which she was her obituary was written up in under, and that kind of thing. So again, it was normally it should have said /plane, but it didn't. It should just said Calgary. So again, that's to pinpoint, and that. So you again, like I said, a lot of you people probably remember her as Mrs. Plain, as kind of that kind of thing as well. But no, her maiden name was my mom's maiden name was Cowder, but in that kind of thing. So she has been married to me. Again, she was divorced from my dad for 10 years. Long time divorced since. She got divorced in 1982, 83. I was only 3 years of age when they got divorced and that kind of stuff. I was a baby still. Went to my mom, my sister went to my dad, vice versa. Now, after I moved out here, 6 hours away, I got a phone call, 2017. She had passed away from my cousin in Montreal, Quebec, and my older sister in Oshawa. My older sister now, my biological sister, she's in Oshawa, so she's a lot closer to Peterborough. Kind of a shock for her. Usually she'd be living out this way. But and that kind of stuff as well. So like I said, that was and that. So I was shocked to hear about that, but my sister did send me a bit of her ashes in a Celtic cross that I wear around my neck. I don't have her on right now. She's in my wallet. My mom's in my wallet right now. Bit of her, anyways. Like I said, I have not put her through the Tim Hortons coffee percolator yet. Didn't have the heart to. Now, if it was my dad, he would. He would make a nice, soothing Tim Hortons cup of coffee out of her. My dad's a meanie. He's a mean bugger. At times he wants to be. So like I said, that's him. Whoa. I'm losing my phone here, and so again, I kind of put that into a bit of a sense of humor on that one, and that kind of stuff as well. And most of the time now, since now I've been living out here now for 4 years, getting comfortable. I have very few friends out here, and that kind of thing. Not many. A lot of people here are what you call drive-through type people. Hi and goodbye. That's about it. Other than that, they're not sociable type of people here that are the socialating type. The as far as social life goes, people here don't socialize with people that much. People come and go. Wyerton is one of those busy towns. People just pass through. It's more of a tourist industry than anything. So the only time you ever see people out here is during cottage country season. So in the summertime, when the cottages are open and the tourist season is here, other than that, most people live in the big cities. People just camp and vacation out here. Nobody really lives out here, but like except for me and my wife and a few fools. Other than that, it is all just vacation and tourist. A lot of the businesses are all seasonal, so they're only open, for the summer and then they close up for the winter. This bar across here used to be open all winter, but again now it is all closed up. It is closed up for the winter. So again, of course, summer they're gonna be annoying as crazy. Other than that, the other place that only stays open all year round, mainly is for Friday night karaoke, is the Legion. Other than that, the place is dead in the wintertime. It's a ghost town. That's what I said. It dies down for the winter. There's no life here in the winter whatsoever. So technically, the winter time in the winter months, it's totally a ghost town. Only time you'll see it lively is when we have the Santa Claus parade come up. Then it'll be a little bit. That's all the kind of us local people have when we do the Lions Club here. It's a Lions Club. Lions Club does the Santa Claus parade. Optimist used to do the Santa Claus parade, but I don't know what the problem is in the last few years. They've gotten away from a lot of stuff. They're kind of dying down on a lot of things. Only thing they do now is bake pies and sell them for $12. Highway robbery. Other than that, they do they host Josie's in Fashion's fashion show again in April, which is coming up in April, and Canada Day, which is July the 1st. Other than that, they've had the little teeny weeny events here and there now. Christmas bazaars again. Anything where they're selling stuff to get money. They're not doing much big fundraisers like they used to. Now it is all, it is all selling stuff, like a bazaar or pies or whatever. They're becoming more like the Girl Guides, where they're into selling stuff to make their money. Again, it is not. They're not like Rotary that does big community fundraisers to raise money for the community like you're supposed to be doing. Well, that's the Wyerton District one, anyways. Not sure what they're like in the other areas. What projects they got going. Other than the only community project they did here was the skateboard park, but that was about it. But other than that, like there was a lot of cool other stuff they do here, and that kind of stuff. That was the only community project they did was the skateboard park. Other than that, they keep to themselves. You don't see them. So again, and but that is for events. That's what we have coming up. Is the next one is Santa Claus parade, and then she dead for the rest of the summer. Town is dead for the rest of the summer. And peace and quiet. Woohoo! So like, and then all the tourists don't start coming back to Wyerton Willie Groundhog Day weekend. Oh my goodness, what a weekend! I'll tell you. Groundhog Day, Wyerton Willie prediction weekend. Fireworks goes off at 6:30 in the morning. And they have the big parade prediction down at the arena and that kind of stuff. And to bring Willie out to see his shadow on February the 2nd. Now that's when the tourist industry starts picking up again. And then after that, they go into Rotary Maple Magic and that kind of stuff. No fancy tea this year. Man, that broke my heart because I used to help out at that. I loved helping out the fancy tea. I thought that was the only thing I thought that was neat that they had going at the Salvation Army. But when Salvation Army renovated, they actually said, well, they wanted to cut out those. They had to cut out those 4 extra tables. They didn't want to turn people away, so they didn't want to cut out those 4 extra tables because the place is now too much smaller now to host the tea party. So again, there is no English tea this year. That is the only time I had a good laugh at it because that is the only time that I can grant that you can actually see people walk into the Salvation Army very highly rich and well dressed for fancy day. That is when all the rich people come out of the woodwork and hey man, we're going to it's fancy tea weekend, really weekend. We're going to go and put on a nice fancy rich English, British, UK dresses and hats, and we're going to go and go to a fancy tea party, which normally looks like Castle One would cost you like probably $50 a person to get into. But here it's usually been by donations to whatever charity you want to give it to. But yeah, that's the only time of year you get to see people sit in the Salvation Army that's very highly dressed. Now have a day. No coffee is served with fancy tea. English fancy tea is like a bit of a honey tray or whatever, fancy sandwiches or whatever, cheese, whatever. Fancy dolled up fancy plates, nice china cups come out, nice china teapots, antique china pots come out. The red hat ladies, they make sure they reserve a table at the Salvation Army. Every year, never fails, but they're out of luck this year. No fancy tea. And they come into the Salvation Army very highly dressed. like they just walked off the Titanic. That is why I sit back, and it's the only time that I can sit back and have a good chuckle. Especially if it was any it is great, it's wonderful. But with the Salvation Army, because the type of reputation the Salvation Army has for what type of ministry it is, that's hardly you don't even see that. So that there has always been like what you call newspaper photo minute or live stream, definitely live video Facebook stream moment. The old ladies, they love their tea, and it's all ladies, by the way. You never see any men there ever. Last few years, 1 year I had a good chuckle. 2 years ago, oh my goodness! One of the ladies I know at the bank over here, a couple of ladies I know at the bank over here that helps me when I do my banking and that. The bank tellers hit the front paper of the Wyerton Echo. They came to the fancy tea, Optimus Fancy Tea, and all the ladies were dressed up in their nice English clothing. The mayor, she was there, everything else like that. Wyerton Willie, part of Wyerton Willie Predictions, the Queen of Pageants, the ladies from the Queen of Pageants were there. So again, association was there, an all representative, and a couple fiddle players, harp player. But the ladies, the two ladies that young girls that work the bank here, and their two boyfriends decided to go walk into the fancy English tea dressed as Texan Spanish cowboys with cowboy boots, holy jeans, dollar store cowboy hats. Dirty cowboy western plaid shirts. Hippie suspenders will walk in looking like they looking like they actually belong to the Salvation Army. Or just walked off the Hillbilly Red Green show. And they're all surrounded by all these high class English ladies, and Scotch and British ladies that are there to have the fancy tea, and they're all dressed up in the Red Hat Ladies Society. So like I said, that was I had to grab that was and when I seen that when I was helping out that year, I had a good chuckle at that one. I'm sorry for that. I had to have a good chuckle at that one. I did. It is but for that kind of a church or ministry, you hardly never ever see anybody that highly dressed going into the Salvation Army ever. Like it is, it is more of a what do you call it, type of ministry. It is a different type of style of ministry than the kind of families, the kind of needy families who work with wouldn't be able to afford to buy big fancy English or Scotch dresses, or pioneer dresses, because those things are expensive. But no, like you could tell it was all the big, it was always the big township council people and all the big high class working people, and that was the only time they were coming out to support Willie Weekend. It came down to the fancy tea and that kind of English tea, and then you could tell they were all service club people. Because the way they dress and that kind of stuff as well. But that was the only time you would ever see them in the Salvation Army. Any other time, it is it is all most of the people are there for food bank, or they're there for the table manna. More people that are that are in poverty and that kind of thing. More type of people that Salvation Army is mainly for. But Willie Weekend, we were sitting there and we're hosting fancy English tea. But again, I guess this year it is not happening. I guess so. I hear, anyways. Because before I ended up because there was nothing really going on, so I kind of felt they didn't need me anymore. Again, the optimist is, and a lot of stuff has gone downhill. A lot of it is all now. It is like a lot of only thing they have basically Canada Day. Basically, the only thing that they have with Canada Day, all they run at their end is the bar tent, and that is it. And everybody that volunteers for the bar tent, you have to have smart services to volunteer for the bar tent. You have to be. If you're not a bartender, there's really nothing there for you to do. So that's basically what kind of. It's becoming a drinking club, another drinking club. Optimist is here. I don't know what it's like anywhere else. It's the volunteer opportunities have gone down a lot because they, like I said, they did away with Halloween dances. They used to have